Whew. What's going on, everybody? What's up? What's up? What's up? This your girl Tiffany coming through here live in the Fed. So I am running a little late behind schedule because I was just getting in, just got home and whatnot. But tonight I want to get into these hot topics. So I'm going to talk about the Arlington, Texas shooting that took place at a high school called Timberview High School. And I want to get into this Dave Chappelle situation, and also I want to get into this whole thing that's taking place with the NBA players and the health insurance fraud. 18 of them got arrested for taking out over $4 million worth of insurance from the NBA. So these are former players. So I'm gonna get into all of these different things and whatnot. But anyways, I just want to thank people for subscribing to my channel, hitting the notification bell whenever I come on, and all that great stuff. So thank you guys so much. Ooh. Oops. Okay, so I want to go ahead and get started. I'm going to start off with this whole incident that took place in Timberview High School in Arlington, Texas. I meant to do it Friday, but I was feeling pretty tired, so I'm doing it tonight. All right. There was an incident where a young man came up to school and shot and wounded 4 people. So said to be that he was bullied and picked on. And not only that, it was by a group of kids that was in the gang. And on top of that, surprisingly, the shooter happened to be an African-American male. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to this article. And we're going to go from there. So I'm going to go ahead and play the video.
Just they are full up, so come now. Sipping on a bit of Henny. Can I get a little?
The 18-year-old who police say is responsible for yesterday's shooting at Timberview High School is now out of jail and at home. Hello and good evening. I'm Steve Eager. This morning, Timothy Simpkins bonded out of the Tarrant County Jail. He did not make a statement or answer reporters' questions, walking silently alongside his family. Arlington police say during their investigation, officers found other weapons in the family's home and believe the .45 caliber handgun they found yesterday is the weapon Simpkins used on campus. The family's representative said this afternoon, with so much media attention, the Simpkins family is now concerned for their own safety. Fox 4's Sean Rabb spoke to some of the family members who again repeated Simpkins was bullied. Sean.
Yeah, I spoke with Timothy Simpkins, pastor, and the woman who raised him, his grandmother. They would not talk with me about the details of the case, but we're hearing from his grandmother for the very first time. One day after the shooting that left this school, Timberview High School, closed today. The same day, the 18-year-old junior got out of jail.
And we pray, God, that in all these things, it'll be a lesson for our school district.
As his family gathered in prayer, Timothy George Simpkins walked out of the Tarrant County Jail roughly 24 hours after surrendering for the shooting that hurt 4 people inside Timberview High School Wednesday. One student was grazed by a bullet, a teacher shot, and the most seriously injured, a 15-year-old who required surgery and was critically hurt.
The .45 caliber is a very large caliber handgun, and it is very potent, very deadly.
In an interview on Good Day, Arlington Assistant Police Chief Kevin Colby says the .45 caliber weapon found on a street in Grand Prairie has been linked to the shooting on the second floor in the classroom at the high school.
ATF has done forensics and has matched that weapon with the casings that were found in the school. So we are a high confident degree that we have the weapon that was used.
The arrest affidavit says the witness intervened, breaking up the fight Simpkins was involved in. The witness was able to control the other individual involved in the altercation. This individual gave up and stopped being combative. When the witness turns around, the affidavit says, to check on Simpkins, Simpkins has produced a firearm. The 18-year-old released from jail on bond walked to the pretrial release department so he could be fitted with an electronic leg monitor and given his conditions of bond.
My sympathy goes out to the other family that was, hurt.
Lily Simpkins is the grandmother that raised Timothy. She blames what happened on his being bullied. With her, the family pastor, Chris Taylor.
I baptized him, I dedicated him. He's a good child. He's my godson. We're going to keep praying for the families and support everybody in this dilemma.
Chief Colby said the bullying claims will be investigated and had this to say about Mansfield ISD school security.
I think Mansfield Independent School District needs to reevaluate some of their safety measures, needs to look at maybe some history. I will tell you that over the past several years, we have seen an increase in our youth in Arlington, around the other cities too, carrying weapons. And we just can't stress enough that today, young kids carrying weapons is just not a solution to any type of violence or anything like that.
So the question still begs to be asked, how did we get to this point? And that's going to be determined through the investigation. We know that Simpkins has a couple of attorneys now who are involved representing him as this goes forward. As we told you yesterday, Steve, of course, there are 4 victims, and the 4th was a pregnant woman who fell in all of the chaos and did not have to go to the hospital.
All right, Sean, quickly on the bullying allegation, somebody who might counter that is the 15-year-old who got shot. Have we heard anything from their family, his family at all?
No, we have not. I have not been contacted by them. To my knowledge, we haven't heard anything.
Okay.
All right, so that's the video. There's multiple questions. There's multiple questions and there's multiple things that that I have to say regarding to this. So first and foremost, my heart goes out to the family that had loved ones that was a victim of the violence that took place. But there's a lot of blame that needs to go around. There's a whole lot of blame that needs to go around, okay? Now, but the question I must ask, how did the little boy get access with the gun? How did he get access to the gun? That's one question. And what type of security does the school have? That's the second question. But that's not even beside the point. Let's get to the blaming part here. There's a lot of blame. And the main blame goes to this society that we live in. That's the main one that needs to be blamed the most. The culture, the society, the media. Why do I say media and culture? Because media has brought the influence on young men like him and many others. Society has failed him. His community has failed him. Now, it was a case that he was being picked on and bullied. I blame society for that. I blame society and I blame the culture that we live in for these children going around here bullying on other kids. And at some point, kids who get bullied on, they turn out to be the most dangerous individual in society. People who being victimized, they turn out to become the menaces to society. So obviously somebody didn't help this young man when he was being bullied on. Somebody didn't give him better alternative or better solution. Yeah, the pastor is there, but what did the pastor do? What type of wisdom did the pastor instill into this young man? Now, we could say that he got to be responsible. Yeah, he's responsible for that because he made that choice. But we can't just place the responsibility on him. Again, we got to look at society. Us as a society, the culture that we live in. The culture that we live in has created people like him. And he felt like in order for him to get the respect that he deserved, he has to go and get a gun and bring it up to the school to show somebody he ain't nobody to play with. This is how criminals come into existence. This is one of the main factors, one of the main reasons why you have criminals out here. This is one of the main reasons why, because they get picked on. They get bullied on. They get victimized, tortured. And that turns them into some vicious animal and cause them to do vicious things. Why did I say media? Because the influences by media, because of the things that's being portrayed on media. Kids watch this stuff and they gravitate to it. No matter how many times the parents can turn off the television, right? The parents can't really do anything to stop it. The parents can't really stop their kids from watching stuff. Yeah, the parents can tell them, oh, you can't watch this, oh, you can't watch that, or you can't do this, you can't do that. But at the end of the day, the kids gonna still get access to it. They gonna gain access somehow. So some things is beyond the parents' control. So at this point, we cannot just sit there and blame his mama and his daddy, his grandma. Obviously, she did the best that she could. But it goes deeper than that. It ain't just the grandmama's fault. It ain't just the pastor's fault. It's, again, society's fault. It's the culture fault. We got to look back at the origin of all of this. And it's this society that has created young men like him. So this little boy, and if I'm not mistaken, I read somewhere that it was members from the blood gangs that was picking on him, allegedly. But if somebody was in the gang, imagine what that does to him. So now he got to prove himself. He got to prove that he ain't no punk, that he ain't no weak ass nigga. It's devastating because somebody could have died. And hopefully there's nobody that's in the hospital right now that's in a serious critical condition to where their life is being in question. It's tragic that it got to get to this point. And I'm very surprised to hear that it happened to be a African-American male that brought a gun to the school. Because most of the time when we hear about massive shooting taking place at school, it's usually the white males, right? Or maybe white females, but particularly it's the white males. But in this case, it happened to be a black boy. So there's a lot of red flags. There's a lot of things that needs to be questioned. Does he need mental evaluation? Absolutely. He needs a psychiatrist. He needs some therapy. He's going to need a lot of therapy, and he's going to need to be watched under 24 hours. Because if not, if he don't get some therapy and if he's not being watched, he's going to commit another crime. That's all honesty. He's going to end up committing another crime. And should he serve time in jail? Yes, I agree. He should serve time in jail because what he did was put other people's lives in danger. But he needs therapy and he needs to be watched 24 hours. He do not need to be roaming the streets. Because if they just let him get off, imagine what he gonna do to somebody else. Just imagine. All right. So that's my thought on that. Now I'm gonna go ahead and get to the next situation. I want to talk about this Dave Chappelle stand-up comedy.
Say the trans. I am just saying that those that they got. You know what I mean? I'm not saying it's not, but that's like beyond impossible. It tastes like, that's not quite what it is it? It's not blood, that's beet juice.
Okay, so there was a situation where Dave Chappelle did his stand-up comedy routine about the baby, saying that the baby had killed somebody at Walmart, which is true. He did. He killed somebody. He claimed it was in self-defense, but he shot and killed somebody. And the media had nothing to say about it. The media has not made an uproar. They ain't had nothing to say about it. But the moment that the baby made a comment regarding to the LGBT community, that's when so many people got in their feeling, and then all of a sudden he started getting canceled, and people don't want him to be on their platforms and be on tour with them and all this other stuff. So, and then you had other celebrities start speaking out against him, which I thought that was mighty strange. Elton John and Madonna, because he made a statement about the AIDS, that if you don't have HIV and AIDS, go ahead, put your phone up. Ladies, if your coochie smell good, put your phone up. You can die HIV. You can have HIV and AIDS and die within a week or so, or something into that nature that he said. Okay. I thought Dave Chappelle was making a valid point. He made a valid point. You guys see, society don't put their energy into what's really going on, especially those who are very who claim to be pro-black, who claim to be liberal. So you get angry because somebody make commentaries about the people in the LGBT community, right? In a particular community. But you don't take that same anger when there is violence going on within our community, when it's done by our people, or when there's people being missing in our neighborhood, when there's children being missing, when there's women being missing, or elderly abuse going on, or constant gun violence. Nobody seems to care. That's basically what he was getting at. You don't care enough about the black community, but you care so much about the LGBT community. He's showing you that the social power that these particular people have, they have more power and more recognition, and they receive a lot more protection than anybody else. The LGBT community receive a lot more protection than the black community. So people had no problem with what the baby done did when he shot that boy at Walmart, when he smacked the girl in the face at a show. Nobody had an issue with that. But the moment he said something, it was a problem. And the people taking that issue out on Dave Chappelle, because he's very blunt, he's very open. Guess what? He doesn't care about Twitter. He said Twitter is not a real place. And he's right. It's really not a real place. It's just a social media platform. He doesn't care about the cancel culture. Because if you guys notice, the cancel culture has been dominated by the people in the LGBT community. They dominate the cancel culture. They dominate the cancel culture. And you get canceled just for expressing yourself. But it's okay when somebody from their community could say whatever they want to say about anybody. And nobody's supposed to say anything, especially when it comes down to women. My goodness, the transgenders, they are very disrespectful towards women. But you better not say nothing about the transgender because it's a war. It doesn't work that way. You don't get to be disrespectful and then expect for nobody else to disrespect you. I seen a video where where there's a transgender female going around here saying random stuff about black women. Well, actually, it was two of them. They done said some very disrespectful things. One said black women are losing because the black men don't want them. Then the other one, just saying that the black women or women want to be like the transgender. They want to look like the transgender. They got their style from them, which that is bullshit. But nobody's staying into defense of these women and say, hey, cut that shit out. You're not going to be disrespectful. I just find it very fascinating that a lot of these motherfuckers around here want to dress up and wear women apparel and act like women, but they don't want to respect the female gender that has given birth to them and given birth to their children. I find that very strange. I find that very odd. And there's a lot of things I could say about this, which I will go into one day regarding to the LGBT, the transgender, this whole transgender stuff, because there's a lot of things I disagree with. I'm sorry, it's a lot of stuff I disagree with about the transgender and about the LGBT, but particularly the transgender community. There's a lot of stuff I disagree with, and I can go into detail about it. But, you know, they use that shit as a leverage to be disrespectful to the natural born women, because I'm not gonna identify myself as no cisgender. I ain't no sissy. Okay, I'm a woman. I was born as a woman. I'm not no sissy. All right. So I refused to be described as a cisgender. And they also took an issue with Dave Chappelle said something about gender. Gender is a real thing. Well, let's be honest. Let's be technical here. And I'm going to say this for the transgender folks. No matter how many hormone pills you take, no matter how much you can dress yourself up to look like the opposite sex, your original self is going to always be there. It never dies. The original self is never going to die. I'm gonna repeat that. The original self is never going to die. You know why? Because it's in your DNA. You cannot change your genetics. You cannot change your DNA. As a matter of fact, your DNA is so powerful that it would even tell what type of medication that you was on. How about that? It would tell what type of pills you was taking. How about that? So you cannot change your DNA. DNA is too powerful. It's your track record. That's your genetic track record that stays with you for a long time. Even when you leave, your track record still stay on this earth. Your genetic track record is still going to be here. You could be dead for 20,000 years. You could be gone for 40,000 years, and your genetics is still going to be here. Your DNA is still going to leave its mark here. It's your genetic track records. So you cannot get around that. You cannot get away from that. And the only way that your DNA is going to change if there's a process of mutation taking place, which that's going to take a long time to happen. That's going to be long before the next generation come. As a matter of fact, that's going to be way after we all be deceased. That's when that genetic mutation take place. It ain't going to happen 10 years or 20 years from now. That's going to be a long process. A long process. That's the only way it's going to happen if it goes through the process on its own. If the DNA goes through that process of genetic mutation on its own, not through no medication, not through no hormone pills, not through no operational surgery, but if it does that naturally, it will go through that transitional process. It will go through the transitional process of changing it is genetic makeup and mutate. It would do that on its own. But other than that, your DNA ain't gonna change a goddamn thing. It don't matter what the hell you do. You can come out with all the technological advances. Your DNA is still gonna be consistent. Your DNA is gonna tell you who the fuck you are. It's gonna go back to your origin from the time your ass was born to the time that you die. Even when your ass leave, it's still gonna be here. Now that's the science. See, that's the secret that science don't tell y'all. That's the secret that scientists don't get into with you guys. All right. Now, I'm gonna go to this last one. I'm gonna go to this last one. And this one right here, I was pretty baffled. Hold on. All right. Here's this next one. So the last one is going to be about the former NBA players being charged for the $4 million health care fraud scheme. So, hey, Mark, what's going on? What's happening? So, yeah, the 18 former NBA players charged in a $4 million health care fraud scheme. So I'm going to play this video clip, and I'm just going to give my thoughts on it because I seen it earlier, but I'm just going to play it. And then this one is unbelievable. It's very, it's unbelievable to me because I ain't never heard nothing like this. Now, I done heard some shit that folks in the hood can do. I can see somebody from the hood do some shit like this. Or somebody in the suburbs, but I ain't never heard it done on the professional level. So it's my first time hearing about this shit. So we're just gonna watch.
The United States Attorney's Office for the Southern District of New York said Thursday, October 7th, that 18 former NBA players have been charged with cheating the league's health and welfare benefit plan of over $4 million. The former players include Terrence Williams, the linchpin of the operation, as well as Milt Palacio, Sebastian Telfair, Antoine Wright, Darius Miles, Ruben Patterson, Eddie Robinson, Gregory Smith, Glenn, Big Baby, Davis, Jamario Moon, Alan Anderson, Tony Allen, Shannon Brown, William Bynum, Melvin Ely, Christopher Douglas Roberts, Tony Roten, and Charles Watson Jr. Officials say 16 people have been arrested as of Thursday, and 19 people have been charged in all, with the 19th individual being an unknown spouse, according to the Daily Wire. The U.S. Attorney's Office has scheduled a news conference for Thursday at a Manhattan courthouse to discuss the indictment, which alleges that the 18 former players, and a total of 19 people, including Tony Allen's wife Desiree, were involved in a scheme to defraud the NBA's health and welfare benefit plan out of over $3.9 million in false claims. According to the indictment, the plan lasted from 2017 to 2020, during which the accused athletes were reimbursed for medical procedures that never took place. Each player has been charged with one count of healthcare and wire fraud conspiracy. According to the indictment obtained by Rolling Stone, Terrence Williams, a 6-year NBA veteran who was drafted in the first round by the New Jersey Nets in 2009, orchestrated the scheme by offering to submit fraudulent invoices on behalf of the players to chiropractors, by offering to submit by the New Jersey Nets in 2009. Stone, Terrence Williams, a 6-year NBA veteran who was drafted in the first round by the New Jersey Nets in 2009, orchestrated the scheme by offering to submit fraudulent invoices on behalf of the players to chiropractors, dentists, and doctors. The players, in turn, paid Williams a kickback when the claims for the falsified medical procedures were reimbursed by the NBA's benefits program. Williams was the scheme's linchpin. He provided the other former players with false invoices for medical and dental procedures that they never received, United States Attorney Audrey Strauss said at a press conference Thursday. The defendant's playbook involved fraud and deception. They will have to answer for their flagrant violations of the law. Strauss provided an overview of the scheme. First, Williams obtained fraudulent medical and dental invoices. Second, he sent those invoices to his co-conspirators, other former NBA players. Third, the co-conspirators submitted the fraudulent invoices to the plan. Fourth, unaware that the plan was fraudulent, the plan paid most of the defendant's claims. Fifth, in many cases, the players paid kickbacks to Williams. In total, $3.9 million in fake claims were filed, with the players collecting $2.5 million in reimbursements. Williams's payment, according to Strauss, was $230,000. Strauss added, when one defendant failed to pay Williams his kickback, Williams attempted to frighten the player into re-engaging with Williams by impersonating an employee from the plan's administrative manager and claiming that there was an issue with the player's invoice that might require him to pay back the claim. Because of that allegation, Williams is also charged with aggravated identity theft for impersonating the administrative manager. Gregory Smith, a former player, allegedly submitted $48,000 in claims for dental work done at a Beverly Hills office while playing basketball in Taiwan the week he claimed to have had the dental work. In another case, 3 former players filed claims for dental work on the same 6 sets of teeth, including root canals and crowns. In many instances, the defendants were not even located in the vicinity of the service providers on the dates the invoices stated they received medical or dental services, said the Department of Justice in a statement Thursday. In particular, GPS location information and/or documents, such as flight records, show that the defendants were in locations other than the vicinity of the medical or dental offices falsely claimed as the providers of services. This industry loses tens of billions of dollars a year to fraud, Michael J. Driscoll from the FBI said in a press conference on Thursday. These costs are then passed on to businesses and customers. That's a fraud we take very seriously.
Whoa. 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 I never heard anything like this. Never heard anything like this. Never heard anything like this. Then you got a ringleader. So Terrence Williams, the former NBA player, was the ringleader of all of this. So it sounded like to me they were trying to get free health insurance benefits or free dental insurance benefits. It sounded like to me they weren't trying to pay for shit out of their damn pocket. They were trying to get the free health insurance and dental insurance and all other insurance that's included. They're trying to get free things. That's what they wanted. It's no different than somebody scamming the welfare system. And I'm quite sure many know about the welfare system. You got people out there that's scamming for food stamps and getting the Medicaids and all of that other stuff. And then, scamming the insurance company. I mean, yeah, it's no different. It's the same trick. But the only thing that's different about it, is done with the professional basketball players. This guy was a ringleader. So this Terrence Williams guy was a ringleader. That's another thing too. I'm glad that you brought that up. Scamming tax return every year, claiming kids that ain't theirs. Yep. It's the same analogy. The only difference is these are NBA players that's doing it, former NBA players, and they have done a serious detriment to themselves. It's what they did was not very wise. Why do I say that? Because the person that was the ringleader, he was not very clever. He was not very strategic. He was not smart about that. He thought the way he did it was he thought that they weren't going to find out, they were going to catch up with him. And eventually it did. It caught up with him. And then on top of that, he was getting paid by other players to do this shit. And then when he got busted and something went wrong, and the league found out like, oh, something ain't right over here. Wait a minute, we losing too much money here. What's going on here? What's going on here? We losing too much money. So when they found out, that's when they started investigating. It's 18 of them. 18 of them doing this shit. Okay, we got something for them. So now y'all done hinder yourselves, because now y'all done made it hard for y'all to either get insurance benefits. Y'all done made it hard. So now y'all gotta figure out, well, where else can you get some insurance? Because you ain't getting it from the league. Because you messed that up. So now y'all gotta be paying XYZ amount of money out your pockets. Because they probably weren't paying that much money for their benefits. They probably was getting some type of, a little discount, paying like a certain type of a certain percentage every month or whatever. But nah, they wanted to be greedy. They wanted to get that free healthcare insurance. That's what they want. They want they shit for free. But it doesn't work like that. Just because you're a retired professional player doesn't mean that you're gonna get free healthcare insurance or any type of insurance. It doesn't work that way. You have to pay for it. Because at the end, they still gonna make their money. This is not like the government, the federal government, where you can get Medicaid and you can get Medicare and get food stamps and all that. It's not like that. No. It's not like that. But they want to get that money back. All that for all those times they had to pay for the injuries and the surgeries and stuff like that. They wanted that money back. And they want to get free health care insurance. It doesn't work that way. It caught up with them. It caught up with them, especially the ringleader. The ringleader, he happened to suffer the most because he orchestrated all of this. And the players, they paid him. They gave him some money. Here, we'll scrap you off a little cash if you do this for us. That's not the best thing to do. You don't ever want to commit fraud, especially when it comes to the professional leagues. Never commit fraud, because it's going to come back to hunt you down. And it's going to be the worst thing that could ever happen to you. And you will wish that you would have never done that. You will regret it. Because now you put yourself in jeopardy, and you also put your family in jeopardy. Because when you commit fraud, insurance fraud especially, you don't get no insurance, right? It's very hard for you to get insurance. That's a felony. That's a big felony right there. Now you got to pay all that money back. That's the worst thing you will ever want to do. The worst thing. The worst thing you ever want to do. Wow. Unbelievable. I had to really go back and look at the source for myself. I said, well, let me look this up. I don't think this doesn't sound right. Let me look this up. Because I would thought that when they retire, they get paid a certain amount of money, and they get paid some good amount of money for their retirement, and they wouldn't have to worry about going through all these little financial crises unless they're the type they're not budgeting their money like they supposed to. They're spending their money on a whole bunch of random stuff or doing random things and stuff like that. I would have thought that they would be good for a long time. And the only thing they would have to do is put their focus on to their business or whatever other hobbies they got going on. But it sounds like to me, they was in some desperate financial need. I mean, not only they trying to get free insurance, but they were trying to get some money back, trying to get some money into their pocket. So it sounded like they were crying for financial help. And they did the shit in a very conniving way, in a fucked up way. Crazy part is Telfer just got out of prison from a gun charge. Now he's going back. Sad. That's sad. That's sad. It is really sad. You put yourself in jeopardy. It seems like a lot of these players, right? They go from having a great career, and then all of a sudden things just turn south for them. It goes downhill. It goes from they have made all these millions of dollars to the point where they end up falling short. They end up being on drugs, they catching cases, or they become homeless. It just They try to hustle the NBA, and the NBA say, nah, we got y'all asses. That's what they try to do. They try to hustle the NBA, and the NBA say, nah, we got y'all niggas. We got you niggas. We got you niggas. You niggas thought y'all was going to hustle. Most of them are African Americans. I'm quite sure you got some Caucasian other groups out there, but for the most part, these are black men. These are black men. The NBA say, oh, yeah, we got you niggas. We got you niggas. You niggas try to hustle us. Nah, y'all niggas ain't getting away with it. We got y'all asses. Be smart. Be very wise. Be careful, because whatever you do is going to come back to you. So you better be wise how you do things. You better be wise how you do things. Because it's already bad enough that people done took out PPE loans and use it for their own personal usage. And instead of putting money towards their businesses and all of that, people taking out I can't even say it right, PPE loans, and going out here living a life, balling, buying all kind of cars and jewelries, and not paying their employees, not even putting it towards their business. And now you got the NBA players committing health insurance fraud, which cost the league $4 million in total. Goddamn, but I be damn, goddamn. That's why I would like to know too, Mark. Who is the 19th unknown person? That's what I want to know. I want to know. But anyways, that's all I have to say for tonight. Thank you guys for watching. And thank you guys for subscribing to my channel. Make sure you guys hit the notification bell, share the videos, check out my other contents on here, etc. Till next time, I will talk to you guys later. Please be safe. And with that being said, may peace and power and elevation be to all of you. This your girl, Tiffany, and I'm logging off. All right. Thank you.